Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. Now I'm going to be showing off the Curtiss-Wright XP-55 Ascender, or sarcastically known as the Ascender, because as you're going to see in a moment, the engine is in the rear, so it is a pusher aircraft. Now this is a very distinctive aircraft, as you can obviously tell, but the designs are that it has two canard wings in the front, which control the elevator, as opposed to what you usually have, the elevator in the rear on the tail. It also has swept wings with two vertical tails, and that is where the rudders are. Instead of just one rudder for most fighter aircraft, obviously this has two. And then the rear mounted engine kind of completes the whole design here. Very distinctive aircraft. It looks almost spaceship-esque. Very cool looking stuff though, and it flies pretty good. And it has pretty decent armament. It has two 50 caliber machine guns, and then it has two 20mm cannons, and they're all in the nose, which means it's much easier to get all of your shots on target. If you're gonna hit, you're gonna hit with all four of them firing at the same time. So it can be very powerful. You're gonna see a couple bomber snipes, which are just seem to go blisteringly quick. Now, I said in a previous video that I would show some comments, and now here you can see Snake Chaos's funny quote from me in the torpedo bombing video I had with Krebs flying NTEC. So, pretty funny right there, in my opinion. Now, let's see. So, some interesting things about the XP-55. Now, we're going to see a funny situation come up, but I'll get to that. But about the XP-55, testing did not go well for this aircraft. There were 3 produced, 2 of which crashed in testing, one of which, did decently well. They were testing, I think, from 1943 to 1944, and so by the time they came up with a workable product, the US was like, hey, we're already testing jets. This is cool and all, but sorry, we're going with jets. So despite its revolutionary design, pretty cool features, and it just took too long to develop, and by the time, they got it working, they decided not to go with it. Now, you know the old saying, don't get caught with your pants down? What you're about to see is a new phrase I would like to coin, and that is, don't get caught with your landing flaps down. That is a poacher's kill right there, and I kind of felt a little guilty putting him in the ground, but he was the last plane. I had the opportunity. I don't even think he saw me. He was straight up concerned with landing and landing alone, so that is why his landing flaps were down. But yeah. We went over the armament: 2 12.7mm machine guns, 2 20mm cannons, all in the nose. If you get an enemy on your 6, that is where you're the most vulnerable, because you have everything just back there. You can hit the rudders, you can hit the ailerons, you can hit the engine. And if you go for a heads up, there's not that big engine block really kind of in the way of the pilot. So I've actually, in heads up, it's usually never a good situation. It's not really smart to go heads up anyway. But when you do, expect to get sniped. And the economy boost currently, the XP-55 is enjoying a 360% boost to silver lines, and that is a bomber snipe. See, that is what you can do when you line up all 4 of those guns conveniently located in the nose and get on a bomber's tail. So 360% boost to silver lines, and as all premium aircraft, 100% boost to experience. Nice quick little juke there. So if you're a fan of this design, and I am a fan of this aircraft, it is fun to fly. And what I've actually noticed is I find I do much better against Germans than the Japanese. The Japanese seem to, every time I play, just seem to tear me up. I don't know what it is. Like, you can't outturn the Japanese Zeros, and you can outturn most of the German fighters, as well as you're pretty fast and you're pretty well armed. But this was a nice little action-packed 2 minutes. I had a lot of fun in this game. And that's the thing about historical battles. You know, you spend a lot of time climbing and doing all this time and posturing yourself to try to dive on an enemy, get on their 6 and whatnot. But every now and then you just have these action-packed couple minutes where you just get multiple kills, and it's really enjoyable, and that's what keeps you coming back. A kill in historical battle is just a thrill, especially when you're first starting out. So if you're a fan of this aircraft, the pusher design, and just kind of unique aircraft, you want something a little different, I think we can expect a few more pusher designed aircraft in the future. One of which is the Japanese J7W Shinden. Yeah, see, going heads up, you're vulnerable. But the Japanese J7W Shinden, the XP-55, there were only 3 models ever built. And the Shinden, it had 2 built. So, and it had 4 30mm cannons. So I think that would be kind of a good plane to kind of bridge some gaps with the Japanese, give them a high tier, powerful aircraft. The hitting power of that thing would be amazing. 4 30mm cannons. And then definitely a more realistic version, but I mean, if you've seen the XP-55, which only had 3 prototypes and was never put into production as a premium aircraft, I think you could go to the bank with expecting that the German Dornier Doe 335 to be in the game. There was over 37 of those built, and it had a push-pull configuration, so there was an engine in the nose and an engine in the rear, and this thing could go fast. It had 1 30mm cannon in the nose, and then 2 20mm cannons synchronized in the engine cowling to shoot through the frontmost propeller. So my overall opinion of this aircraft, it is fun to fly. It's fun to look at. I mean, this thing is a crazy looking plane, considering, you know, you're used to playing much more conventional style fighters. So it's fun, and as an American, having all that power right in the nose, if you get something lined up, it's easier to bring them down. I've sniped bombers really quickly. Those 20mm cannons are nice, you know, when you're an American player and you're usually just dealing with 50 caliber machine guns. So overall, I like this plane. I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna probably buy it myself. I've been buying a lot of premium aircraft recently with some of the sales for the July 4th event and then in the week of summer. So now it is time for comments. In the Beaufighter video, I attempted to do some muttish attempt at an accent. It was a mutt of, I think, Australia, Britain, all the Commonwealth combined, and then just thrown in with my inability to really pull it off. And as Manic said, why do all Americans go Australian when trying to go British? And I think he had a pretty good point, you know, considering I kept throwing in the word mate a lot. And then Mr. Dog, can you do a pea shooter squad play? Well, if my compatriots Fly and Intac are interested, we could probably do a pea shooter gameplay, maybe even get Krebs in on it. But one thing I know I'm really interested to do is trying to get a Swordfish squad gameplay in. That could be pretty fun. So let me know what planes would be goofy or just kind of fun to see flown in a squad. And this kind of stems from the PBY-5A Catalina video. If you have not seen that, or the Beaufighter video, check them out. We just like to goof off, and somehow we get pretty good results. And then finally, UnboxerMan12 asks, would you recommend the Chi-61 or the A6M2 for the American premiums? Well, I'm a big fan of the Chi-61, as I've said, and you can see that in my previous US Premium Showcase video on the Chi-61, or K-61, excuse me. A fan corrected me on that. So K-61, I think I got it. And I'm going to show the A6M2 next, so you can check that out when it becomes available. So feel free to subscribe or check back here, as the link when it becomes available will be in the video description and the video outro, which will happen now. I'm Baron, thanks for watching.
I got rocks though.
You got rocks on rocks, mate, but it ain't gonna kill no ships.
Whoa,
You might as well throw your crumpets at them, you know what I mean?
We're not
Krebs,
doing this.
Krebs, let's hear a...
I'm armed. I'm armed to the teeth, mate.
Let's hear a hoorah.
What you talking about?
Let's get pumped, you guys. Let's get pumped for this game. We're gonna do so well.
Look at my red tip torpedo.
Oh yeah.
In my
smoke
terrible British accent. Oh my goodness,
Smoke's
mate.
on.